Live streaming is on.
So everyone, in today's class, I hope all of you know what is OOPS.
Yes.
Object oriented programming.
Yeah, this is object-oriented programming, and there are few concepts and principles that are related to object-oriented programming, and these principles we will be covering today. So first, one of the first principle of object-oriented programming is inheritance. Okay, so what inheritance tells basically that suppose that if some of the properties of one class is common to the another class. Okay, so if some of the properties of one class is similar to another class, then it is not relevant to write that class again, and we can inherit some properties from the another class. So what it's saying that inheritance enables us to define a class that takes all the functionality from a parent class and allows us to add more. Okay. So in yesterday class, I told you what is properties. Okay. So properties, and there were two characteristics of class. Can you tell me what are the characteristics of class? I'm just checking. Are you revising class? Please answer. What are the characteristics of the class? So first characteristics of class was what? Attributes, and then second was methods or behavior. So these were two characteristics of the class. Then what we are telling here? We are telling here inheritance enables us to define a class that takes all the functionality from a parent class and allows us to add more. So what it is saying is, first look into this. So if you are doing inheritance, then first class, that is called so there are two things. First is parent class and second one is base class. Okay, so this is this is parent class or base class is same. So this is the example of a base class. Okay, it is not inheriting something, it is not inheriting anything from other. And this one is derived class, it is inheriting properties from this class. You can see that while defining this derived class, we are passing here base class as the argument. So this way we are creating the child class of this. So this is the parent class and this is the child class. And in programming we say that this is the base class and this is derived class. So derived class means derived from some other base class. So what is inheritance? We will cover by having some example. So suppose that we have one rectangle class. Okay, we have one rectangle class and one square class. So I think all of you know that some of the properties of these some of the properties of square and rectangles are same. So what are these things? So firstly, if I tell you that uh, any square is nothing but a rectangle having length and width are equal. Can we tell like this?
Yeah.
Any square is nothing but a rectangle that has length and width equal. and both will have the property of area and perimeter. So if we are creating a class, rectangle class, okay, then we don't need to create a we don't need to create or write all the functions of rectangle class. Suppose that we have already written that if you want to get the area, then you need to write L star W, means length star width. And if you want to get the perimeter, you need to write 2 star L plus B, means 2 star length plus width. So similarly, if we have already this class, rectangle class, then why would we create uh, why would you write extra code for creating this square class? Because we can calculate the area in similar way. Okay, so it is clear to you what I want to say.
Yeah.
So this was an example. Similarly, suppose that we have an animal class. Okay, so all the animal does what? They eat. Okay, what are the characteristics of animal? Eating, running. These are two basic things that all the animal do. So suppose that we have an animal class, and now we want to write a class for cat. Okay, so we know that if we have already a animal class, then this cat will be the child class of animal, because this cat will inherit properties from animal class, because this cat will also have the property running and eating. So these two properties of both are common. So then in this context we will say that cat is the child class of animal. Is this clear to you?
Yeah.
So this is the one of the most important principle of object oriented programming. Object oriented programming tells that means inheritance tells that inheritance enables us to define a class that takes all the functionality from a parent class and allow us to add more. Okay, so if we are creating a derived class, so derived class, then if we are passing a base class, then all the properties of the base class will also be available in this derived class, and then you can add more properties. Okay,
Okay.
now so this was the first example. So suppose that we want to practice some questions uh, for inheritance. I'm opening. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay. So this is really a very interesting topic, and this is really, I think this is not a beginner course. I mean, this is not a part of beginner course. I am adding this so that object-oriented programming principles are really they are very useful if you write some good programs. So that's why I'm teaching you. It should be clear to you. That's why I'm asking you. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. Anything, if you have any doubt related to object oriented programming that had I already covered, you can ask. So if you have think about any doubt, I am opening Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we are creating two classes. First will be base class and second will be child. First will be base class and second will be child class or derived class. So basically base class or parent class are same. Similarly, child class and child class or derived class are same. They are basically synonyms. So base class or parent class classes are same and child class or derived classes are same thing. Now suppose that I'm giving you the example of a rectangle and square example. Okay, so first I am creating a class rectangle. Okay, now I am defining here length is equal to 10, width is equal to 20. Okay, now suppose that I am defining here def, or you can write here non. Okay, so if you do not want to initialize this with a value, you can write here none. Now need to write here init and then I'm passing here length and width. So you can take length value and width value. Now we are writing here self dot length is equal to length value and self dot width is equal to width value. Okay, now I am defining here def calculate area. Now we need to write here self. I told you that self is mandatory. Return suppose that I am defining one another variable area and one another variable perimeter. It is none. Now I am changing the value. If you want to get the area, then we are writing here self dot area is equal to self dot calculate self dot length star width. Okay, so to calculate the area we does what? We multiply length and width. So we are now, you can see that area is again the property, again the attribute of this class. So we need to write self dot area is equal to self dot length stars self dot width. So if you want to, it will not return you anything. It will only set the area. To get the area, we will write get area. Get area. Self star return self dot area. Now similarly we can do for perimeter also. Calculate perimeter. Calculate perimeter. Then we can write here self and self dot perimeter is equal to 2 star self dot length plus self dot width. Now here we are setting the parameter. To get the parameter, we need to write what? Def get parameter, and we need to write here self. Now write here return self dot array. Is clear? Is this clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have this base class. Okay, so this is what? This is base class. Now suppose that we are creating the object of it. So we are creating, first we want to check that our rectangle class is correct. To check, we are creating an object rectangle. So I am writing here obj rectangle is equal to rectangle, and we need to pass here length and width. Suppose that I am passing a length 10 and width value 20. Okay. So now to calculate the area, we need to write what? First, obj rectangle dot calculate area. So it will set the area. Okay. By calling calculate area, it will set the value of area to the value self dot length star width. Now to get the area, we will write print obj rectangle dot get area. Run this program. So what's happening? So it is printing 200. Okay, so it is printing you 200. Can see that. So 200 should be the value because we are passing length 10 and width 20. So the area will be 200. Then it is printing you 200. Is this clear to everyone? Up to this?
Yes, sir.
Now we need to create the derived class of it. So I am commenting this first. So to calculate, suppose that we are creating a square class. So um, so we need to create a derived class that is square. Okay. So first see that. First compare here. Okay. We have length and width, and area and perimeter will not change for square. This should be the property. This should be the attribute of square also, and length and width will be not the property of the, means these will be not useful for in the this will be not useful for square, because in square we don't call it length and width. We basically call in case of square we call that side. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What I am basically so just notice that if you are creating any derived class from the base class, then you need to think about which things we want and which things we don't want. Okay, so now can you compare which things should be available in a square and which things should not be available, means which things we should inherit from rectangle in case of square? Can anybody answer?
Area and perimeter.
Yeah, area and perimeter. And what should be another property that should be available in case of rectangle? Is there any property that are present in square and not present in rectangle? I think there is no any property that is present in that should be present in a square and not in rectangle. I think they have basically same properties. Only one thing are different, that length, they in case of rectangle they have length and width, and in case of square we have in, in case of square we have side. So please mute, please wait for 1 minute. So am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So now these things are clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
जा रहे हैं, ठीक है प्लीज जा रहे हैं ठीक है
Okay, so now what we have written here, we are not today. You can see that we are creating a derived class. Okay, so we need to first give this derived class as a name. So what is the syntax? So first you need to give the name to the derived class, name of derived class, and then you need to pass. Then you need to pass here the base class name. Okay, so this was the syntax. Now you can see that we are creating a derived class and this is the name of the derived class and we are passing here base class, that is rectangle. Now we are writing here side is equal to 1 and if init init self and then side value. Okay, so then we need to write here self dot side is equal to side value. Okay, now suppose that I am not doing anything and I am running this program. Okay, so I'm not doing anything and running this program. Then uh, then check what is happening. Okay, so we are creating here class obj of rectangle is equal to, sorry, obj of square. Obj of square is equal to new, sorry, square, and we need to pass the side value. So suppose that I am passing here 4 and now print side value. Now what should be output? 4. Okay. So why it is not printing anything? Now you can see that uh, actually it is not printing. Why? I think some problem has occurred in my in this Visual Studio Code. But you can see that here we have the value of the side is 4, and you can see that in this object, that is object obj of square, means this is the object of the square. And you can see that what are the properties present in this object. You can see that we have area, length, perimeter, side, width. But you can see that we never defined the area, length, perimeter, width. These are coming from where? Base class. Okay, so I think now this should give us output. Now you can see that output is 4. So suppose that we want to get the suppose that we want to get the area. Now you can see that area and get perimeter is also get perimeter is present in this square, in this square class. They are inheriting this method get uh, get area, get perimeter from this rectangle class. So suppose that I am calling here print dot get area. We will have nothing because I will answer you get area. Okay, I think some problem has occurred in my system. It is showing me this. So something is happening in my system. So okay, so we will use this in Jupyter Notebook. Same code I am copying here. So this is our base class and this is our child class. Okay, now running this and now running this. Now you can see that in the first case we have side value 4 and you are getting the area as none, because you can see that area in the base class we have firstly defined that length is none, width is none, area is none, perimeter is none, but we never passed these are none. Before you set, if you not set this value again, then it will be none. So it is returning us, when I am calling get area, it is returning us none value. Okay, so why this happening? Because we to get area we need to first calculate area. Okay, so because get area is returning self dot area, means this is area, and if you are not doing anything with the area, then it will be none initially. So you are getting none value. So to set the area, we need to first calculate area. Okay, so suppose that I'm not doing anything, I'm just calling obj square dot calculate area. So and I'm running this program. Now you can see that it is giving us you what? Unsupported operand for none type. It means that you had never defined the. So if you calculate area, then calculate area is doing what? Calculate area is doing self dot area is equal to self dot length and self dot width. So you can see that the value of length and width you had not defined. So the value of length will be already initially will be none, and the width value will be initially none. So you can, it will be equivalent of what? None star none. So it is giving you error. So to calculate the area, first you need to define length and width. So how will we define? Okay. So we will write here now. Why it is telling that? Oh, okay. So it is side value. It is not side value. It is side. Okay, so yeah. Now you can see that what I am doing here. First in the init method, it is basically constructor, and we are passing a side value in case of square, because square don't have basically length and width, and we are setting here the value of side is equal to side value, and now we are calling the constructor of the parent class. So what we are doing here, we are calling here constructor of the base class. Okay, now to call the constructor of the base class, you need to pass here self. Self is mandatory, and then what this rectangle constructor was expecting from you. It was expecting the value length and width. So in case of square, the value of length and width are same. So we are passing here self dot side and self dot side. So it will assign self dot side value to length, and it will assign self dot this the self dot side value will assign this value to width. Okay, now if you write here obj square print obj square of length, so it is printing what? 4. If you write here obj square of width, It will give you what? 4. Similarly, if you call obj square of dot side, so it will also give you 4. Is this clear to everyone? What is happening here?
Yes, sir.
So what we are doing here, we are just understand that we are creating a derived class square, and we have passed the name of base class here, and we are creating a property side in this class, and this is the constructor of this derived class, and we are passing a side value, and now assigning self dot side is equal to side value. Now to call the constructor of the base class, we need to write like this: first class name, and then you need to write here init, and self is mandatory, and then the value that should be passed in the constructor. So in this case it was length value and width value, so we passed here self dot side and self dot side. Now after passing this constructor will set the value of length and width, and now we can get the value of length and width. And side is obviously side was already we have set, we are setting here side value. Okay, this is getting set in the derived class, and length and width are length and width are getting set here. Okay, in the parent class, that is rectangle. Now we don't want to use this because there is no meaning of length and width in case of square. So now we will calculate the area of this square dot calculate area. So to calculate area, we need to call this function. Okay, so we are calling here calculate area. Now we are getting the area value dot get area. And you can see that this is returning you 16. Now you can see that we never defined this calculate area get area method, but we are calling here because this came from this parent class. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now I think all of you can think that when should we use derived class, and what properties can we derive from the parent class. So this was the basic example, and this was a very good example. Okay, so now we will be moving to the next topic, that is multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is again an advanced topic. Okay, uh, so in this way, suppose that we have two base class. First is base 1 and second is base 2. So these are two parent class. So if you have two class, so if somebody asks you how to differentiate between child class and parent class, so how will you differentiate between these two class? So first, child class will have always a derived class. You can see that here we are passing here base 1 and base 2 as derived class as the parent class. But parent class, okay, or base class will not inherit the property from another class. So you can differentiate between two. So it is a base class because it is not inheriting anything from other. No, this one is again the base class because it is not inheriting anything from other, but it is a derived class and it is inheriting value from other. Now you can see that we are calling here multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is nothing but inheriting the property from two or more classes. So suppose that if you want to inherit properties from three or four class, then you will call this as multiple inheritance. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see this diagram. Suppose that we have base 1 class, base 2 class as the parent class, and we are calling here derived class. So this derived class will have the functionality of both the base class and the additional properties that you will define in the derived class. So this derived class will have the features of this, and features of its own also. So now think where we can use the multiple inheritance. Any real life example where we can use multiple inheritance? Can anyone think? So okay, uh, answer me this question in next day in tomorrow class. And if you have any doubt, you can ask. And this multiple inheritance is again a big topic, so that's why I want to cover it in the next class. Okay, so I will be giving you the example of multiple inheritance. And if we have some. Okay, so we have a now we have some topic. This is again the encapsulation. Encapsulation is again the this is also one of the principle of the oriented programming. So encapsulation basically says what? If you are creating an object, okay, so if you are creating an object, then it means that you are encapsulating the properties from other. So suppose that we have some system to manage. Suppose that think of an organization. Okay, so suppose that I think all of you have heard Facebook. Okay, so Facebook is an organization, and suppose that Facebook has different type of teams. First is development team or technology team, and second one can be sales team, third one can be legal team, fourth can be marketing team. So these four teams can be present in the Facebook organization. Now, so what is encapsulation? Encapsulation says that if they are separate parties, so marketing is completely different from technology team, marketing team is different from technology team. So that's why we should not share we should not we should encapsulate the information of these two separately. Okay, so this is called as encapsulation. Encapsulation means one means if two things are completely different, they should have some privacy. They should not get easily the data of another. So if suppose that if technology team is getting the data of marketing team, so then it will be difficult for Facebook to manage things. So suppose if someone can create negative impact in marketing. So means I am just giving you the example. They can misuse the information of marketing team, means technology team can misuse the information of marketing team. Similarly, suppose that marketing team is handling the database of the technology team, then what will happen? They can destroy all the data. So these things can happen. That's why we encapsulate data, means we hide the information from others. So this is called as encapsulation. So object oriented programming says that we should hide the information from another to access, and we should only give the access whatever will be needed. We will not give the access of everything. Okay, so encapsulation is one of the fundamental concept in object-oriented programming. It describes the idea of wrapping data and the methods that work on data within one unit. This put restrictions on accessing variables and methods directly and can prevent the accidental modification of data. So what it is telling that we should we should not give the access of every variables and methods of the class to another another part of the program. So we will give only the access of that variables and method that would be needed. So this principle is called as encapsulation. Now this is basically hiding the features. Sorry, this is handling of encapsulation. I'm giving you the example of handling of encapsulation, but this property is called hiding the information. So to hide the properties, okay, so I told you that in class there are two things. First was properties and second was method. So to hide the properties we have three modifiers. First is private member, second is protected member, and third one is public member. So what is private members, second is second is protected members, and third one is public member. So I will explain this one by one. What is private, what is protected, and what is public. So this one is this example is the this is showing you encapsulation. You can see that this is basically encapsulating the variables. Variables are what? Variables are properties of the class and methods. So this variables and methods are encapsulated. Okay. So I think this image is not giving you any relevant information, but if I will give you the if I will give you the example by code, so it will be clear now. So first I'm going to the first member, that is public members. Okay, so public members are what? Public members are generally accessible to everyone. So anyone, if they are creating the object of your class, then they can get the public members. So I think I have given you this example in yesterday's class. Okay, length and width. So we are not modifying this. We are not providing any access modifier. Then this length and width are public. So anybody can get the length and width of this value. Anybody can set the length and width of this value. So these are public. These are accessible to everyone. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So it was about public members. So public members are those properties that are accessible to everyone to read or write permission. So everybody can read, everybody can write. Okay, so this is called, so this access modifier is called as public access modifier, or public, these are called as public members. Okay, so to define a public members, you don't need to do anything, just use simple technique of creating the class, and you need to you can see that you can get the value of length and width. So in all the previous example, whatever the properties we have created, that were public. Now again we will move to the private and protected part. So I will cover them. I will cover this in your studies in tomorrow's class. And if you have any doubt in all of this, so you can ask me in any of these. I think I am starting from encapsulation. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. So nobody is going to ask any question. Okay, then thank you everyone. In next day class, we will be completing the object-oriented programming, and in after that we will be after that I will discuss about project. Okay, so after this we will complete the whole syllabus of beginner course. So this is the and I think tomorrow class and next class will be last class, and after that you will be practicing on projects. So thank you everyone.